Easy as pie here, again with the Kawasaki 440. Today I'll be showing you how to replace your crusty old peeling footwell turf. So to get started, here's a few things you'll want to have. A chisel in order to peel up the old footwell turf. After you get that all chiseled out, you'll also need, if you choose to go with a padding for underneath your turf, go ahead and get something for that. You'll also want your turf itself, and I've gone with this diamond plate styled kind of smoky black look. And you'll also want some contact cement in order to adhere the material to the footwell, a brush to apply that contact cement, and also a razor will come in handy, and parchment paper or wax paper, or some sort of material that you can create a template with, and maybe some masking tape to hold it all together. I'll show you how that works later, but this is what you'll need in order to get started. You'll also find a bit of Goo Gone, and some paper towels will be incredibly helpful getting that residue off the deck. Now I'm going to start by starting at one of the end and just slowly peeling this up in order to remove all the material. You'll find this process very similar to the gasket replacement video that I have also posted. So as you can see, I have the first piece removed. Now you just go ahead with your chisel or whatever scraping device you have and really clean this down, and then maybe go afterwards with some coarse sandpaper to get all the residue off. So I won't be using any Goo Gone, but the sandpaper, the 60 grit, does work pretty well to get the all that dried material off there. So go ahead and repeat that process with your footwell and the side pieces, and your front pads as well if you choose to replace those all. And here's a quick shot of the progress. I've got the two sidewalls off and the footwell out. I've scraped it down initially, and this material on the bottom was a lot more gummy, so I'm going to try and use some Goo Gone on the bottom. And here's the footwell after I've gone through and stripped everything out. Now, as you'll see here, I have a sheet of parchment paper that I have cut into the shape of the footwell, and I will use this as my template, cutting out both my padding and the turf material. So here's the padding, just kind of loosely fit in there. I've tapered the back edge to let it kind of slope off, help the water drain, and give it kind of a nicer contour once that the top mat is on. So once this is cut, you can go ahead and apply your contact cement to both your footwell and the under padding here, and then go ahead and get it all stuck down. Now the underlayment has been put down. I first, like I said, put a generous amount of contact cement on the back side of the matting, and just as much on the floor of this. I let them set for just a little bit, and then I started putting the mat down and firmly applying it. And after several minutes, this will set up pretty well. You won't have to worry about it coming back up again, and you can start your next layer of the actual turf itself. Here is the turf after it's been completely set. It's been a couple hours now, but I just let this hang over a little bit over that tapered edge, and I took a razor and just cut it at an angle, about like that, and then I applied glue to that very edge as I was pushing this all down, and you can see it makes kind of a nice edge there. So I'm pretty happy with that back end. If you want really clean lines, a good way to go is get a heat knife. It'll cut this and it'll kind of fuse the ends, and you won't get these, little fray pieces that you might see along here. But if you've got a really sharp razor, that'll do just as well. So the next thing you'll want to do is get your templates made for the sides, cut those, and start getting that fitted. I've also decided to get a little creative and make some footholds. So here are the templates that I used, and I just used the same material as the padding underneath the hydromat. And I've made two different shapes. So where the foot actually goes underneath, it will be kind of it'll stick out quite a bit. And on the top sides, I'm going to come through with this razor and give these a chamfer all the way around so it tapers off into the sled. And here is the general shape that these footholds will be taking. So as you can see, they have about an inch worth of relief. They'll mount on the side like so, and they'll just be laminated together, and then I will put my turf over top that. And after a few minutes of curing, probably about 10 minutes, they're practically inseparable. Now would be the time to do either all of the shaping, but I started already, and I think I'll just do little touch-ups to make these have a bit nicer shape. And just like the footwell, on the side walls you're also going to want to make yourself parchment paper templates to figure out the exact same size, get them as perfect as possible, and then use those to cut out your turf. So just a couple quick notes as I'm doing this. If you've got clamps to run, they will be very helpful. Make sure they're big enough to reach it all the way across. I've just got these little ones right now, but I guess it's doing the trick for now. The next thing, if you've noticed that maybe it's kind of peeling up at the edges or it doesn't seem like it's sticking, make sure your glue is thoroughly mixed. And then the next thing is make sure you've let both sides that you've applied that adhesive to dry for a few minutes. Don't put too much on, just so you've got a nice even layer. And if you do see some of these spots that look like they might be bubbling up, just keep coming back to them every couple minutes and just pressing down on it, and just generally do that across the entire thing, just to make sure that everything is seated properly and will stay where it's supposed to. And now that the right side is done, we will continue on the left doing the exact same process. First installing your footholes and then applying the adhesive to both the hull and your matting, allowing them to dry for just a few minutes, and then applying the two together. And after a few hours of drying, you've got yourself some new footwell turf and some very affordable footholds there as well. So I hope this has been helpful. If you guys have any videos you want to see associated with these Kawasaki jet skis, go ahead, throw it in the comments. Otherwise, I'll just keep doing my thing. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe, guys.